Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. Today, again, I'm bringing you a champion, somebody with a lot of experience. And I'm really sure that you're going to enjoy, the conversation with him because he's going to bring a lot of knowledge, his experience. And we're going to focus our conversation today on mentorship. And I think mentorship is always a subject of actuality because it has, an impact on everything that we do. And we're going to develop this conversation to understand really what mentorship is all about, what it brings, and especially in, focusing on the impact on entrepreneurship and on what's going on right now with all the uncertainty and the volatility. So just to give you a little bit of insight about my guest, and he's going to have the opportunity to introduce himself later on. So I call him DRD because the name is, I'll put the name, you'll see the name when is in later on. And DRD has served in the corporate world for 40 years. So you can imagine, the experience that he has. And of those 40 years, he was a CEO and president for different businesses. So a lot of insight that we really, looking for today. And please don't hesitate to ask questions and to really interact with us because, like I said, you have somebody with such an experience that you can learn from and really, have the help that you need. But when DRD retired, he's took, he put more effort into mentoring people internationally. So he's been an international mentor for since his retirement, and he's added value almost everywhere in every country, and he's focusing mostly on the young generation, but also on women. So we're gonna learn, we're gonna talk about it through and really see, and understand the impact that is making all over the world, sharing his knowledge and helping people in becoming great and getting to the next level of their greatness. So without further notice, I'll bring DRD, and you please, have your notebook, have your pen ready. Share if you have the opportunity, because it is specialized knowledge and important knowledge for you, especially if you are an entrepreneur or if you want to make an impact in your community, in your environment. So let's start the conversation with DRD, and I'll be back after the music.
But as I got older, I started to be more aware of some of the abusive sides of
So welcome to the Greatness Engineering Hour, DRD. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you today, and especially, talking about a topic that is really, a passion for you, mentorship. So, before we start, can you introduce yourself to the audience and let us know who DRD and what you're up to, because you've been doing so many things since you've retired.
Great to be on this wonderful show, interacting with Mirel and sharing my thoughts this evening with you all from across the continents is very inspiring for me. Looking forward to add value to each one of you during this 1 hour session. This is a wonderful global program. I've gone through the previous speakers who had come to this program, and I'm really delighted that Mirel is doing a wonderful thing to add value to humanity in different spheres of life. Thanks for inviting me to this show.
Okay.
I start
Yes.
in brief my introduction.
Mm-hmm.
I have done my master's in engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, New Delhi, an institute of global reputation, and served the corporates for about 40 years in different capacities, of which nearly 20 years as president or CEO of these businesses. Initially, I served the Eicher Group, an organization in the field of automobile and engineering, making motorbikes, making agriculture tractors, making trucks, buses, and gears, and served them in different capacities in multiple functions, multiple locations across our country. Then I moved to Aditya Birla Group, a Fortune 500 group. And for next 18 years, I was associated with this group for 3 different businesses, setting up a plant and managing different businesses in capacity as president for chemical and steel sector business, as CEO and managing director for the power sector business. It was related to a joint venture of Aditya Birla Group and NGK of Japan, and we had nearly 40 Japanese working with us during this period. And then finally, my assignment was on the specialty products business related to construction sector, for which I also served as CEO with Aditya Birla Group. Post my superannuation from the Aditya Birla Group, I moved to a petrochemical business in India and Malaysia as a group CEO in the field of, imagine, petrochemical business in the field of food sector, perfumery sector, and the plastic world. Quite amazing experience. I am married. We have 2 sons. Both work for the Microsoft Group in USA. My daughter-in-laws are also software engineers. They work for various corporations in USA. And we have 3 grandchildren. Presently doing global mentoring to CEOs, women entrepreneurs, and startups in over 40 countries. I'm also a mentor of change for schools for Atal Innovation Mission of NITI Aayog, formerly known as the Planning Commission of India of the government, to help the school students to think differently and do differently. 40% of my mentees are women entrepreneurs, maybe students in business or in service across. When I look outside India, maybe 55% will be women entrepreneurs, women whom I am mentoring them. It's a wonderful experience. About 60% of the people I mentor are mostly in schools and colleges, or have just come out of the schools and are in the early stages of setting up their own establishments. I think this is in a nutshell. I am sharing my brief introduction, and then we move forward. More will follow as we move forward.
And it's a lot, because 40 years, it's always difficult to, to summarize this, because you've done so much. And, not only as, an engineer and then working in the corporate, and now, taking on mentoring, and especially mentoring people who are starting in, in the endeavor or venture that they have. So it's a lot to fit into, a few minutes. But let's start the conversation on mentoring, because now most of your time it's spent on mentoring. You're devoting, most of, your time on mentoring, like you said, mentoring young, young entrepreneur, young people who are starting their venture, and having almost half of those individuals to be women. So my question for you is to really understand, what are the key things that that are actually important for people that you're mentoring, as you see, for them to be successful in what you're helping them on.
See, I think this is a very, very important question what you have raised. But it's important to understand that in this journey, there are two different sides. One is a mentor, other is a mentee. Now, first important thing to be understood is mentoring is not a one-way journey. It's not like a one-way street. It's a two-way process. Mentoring is not solving a problem. That comes under the coaching. Mentoring is not consultancy. Now, what is mentoring? Mentoring is an act of making a difference. Mentoring brings taking care of others. Mentoring facilitates value addition to the people who get associated. Mentoring helps in sharpening the competencies of the mentee, associated with skill, knowledge, and performance. Taking someone out of the comfort zone, I think this is a very, very important thing. Mentoring helps you to take somebody out of the comfort zone, and that's why it brings an acceleration in his or her journey of going forward. Mentoring, I call it as a journey. Mentoring is a relationship linked to 4 T's. The first T stands for trust, trust between mentor and mentee. Second T stands for transparency. That means unless there is a transparency between the mentor and a mentee, honesty or commitment, I think the benefit will not be visible. The third thing in mentoring is teachability. Each mentee needs a different approach or a way or a style of passing the inputs. The same formula of input cannot be used for everyone, because each individual is different in the same country, in the same city, in the same organization. Person is different. So the teachability is tailor-made for each individual, and that gets developed after the first preliminary session or second preliminary session, maybe each of 30 minutes each, where you understand each other and then work out the process journey. And the fourth important T is importance of time. So these four put together are important in the journey. And when I say all these four, it is called transfer of minds in a short period of time. Transfer of minds in a short period of time. I think that is very important. This sums up the entire mentoring, that what I would have gained in 40 years of ups and downs in life, is it possible for me to transfer the brighter parts of it, which can mold the journey of a youngster in 2 years or 3 years' time? The other person doesn't have to go through a journey of 40 years to learn those things. So it is called transfer of minds in a short period of time. So span is generally 2 years to 3 years. That is very important. I do about 2,500 sessions every year.
Wow.
They are one-to-one sessions, one to small group. Small group can be 2 or 3 people. One-to-one with the support, especially in African countries, I come across that there is a difficulty in understanding the language or the way you express. Maybe if there is an older lady who has to understand, she finds it difficult. So you have to pair up the people, maybe the mother and the daughter, maybe the son and the mother, husband and the wife. So you have to create a team so that they can do internal deliberation in their own regional language to gain the benefit. So it is very, very important that how these groupings are done, how these teams are done. Then you provide group of managers in small and medium industry. Initially, when there is a group, the initial few sessions are done individually because you have to bring the members of the team to the same frequency and wavelength. They may be working for the same organization, same project, but their aptitude, their passion, their understanding need not be of a similar nature. So they may not be able to grasp the same thing the same way. So initial few meetings, sessions are to groom the people to bring them to that level. And family members mentoring. There can be non-business related issues. There are many cases come across where you need mentoring of a family to bring them on a particular frequency, whether it's related to career of a child, whether it's related to a family business split, it can be anything. But the mentoring of the family members, mentoring awareness programs on campuses and in universities and schools are also a part of this journey. Generally, these sessions are of 30 minutes to 100 minutes, depending on the mentee status, condition, ability to grasp, depends on that. The time schedules are there. About 50% of the mentees generally do not need a long journey mentoring. So maybe 5 or 6 sessions spread over about 6 months. Maybe 20% of the cases there will be 50 to 100 sessions over 2 years to 3 years. Remaining people may have 8 sessions, 10 sessions, 12 sessions, 20 sessions. But generally the sessions are of this nature. And we measure whether the person has been benefited or not. Whether the person has tried. Like, for example, one of the things which I have my approach is, if somebody asks me a question about a problem, I don't answer the problem. I will give them 15, 20 options that things can be of this nature or that nature. I would inspire the individual to think, become capable to select what can be the right thing for him or her. They will try it out. They may again have difficulties. Again, they may have 15, 20 options. So it is making people decision making. The variety of options they should and must understand and select what can be relevant to them. So I think that's why it takes longer time, because you are not making them, they ask a question, I give them answer, it becomes an event. But mentoring is transforming the mind. That means they should become equally capable of thinking and deciding like me. Then only it serves the purpose. 90% of these sessions are all complimentary. There are no fee charges of any nature to anybody. There are people, maybe 5-10% of people, who may voluntarily contribute to see that the cost neutralization takes place. But generally, 90% of the cases are totally complimentary. factors which are important are, when I look to selecting a mentee, it is important a right mentor and everyone cannot be a mentor to anybody. You need to match. You have to understand the passion of the mentee. You have to understand the seriousness or time commitment level of the mentee on the challenges which he or she is facing. Mentee's commitment to time and dates. My experience says that 10% of the mentees don't turn up on the date and time. That means the casualness is visible. But by and large, the experience has been 90% of the people turn up on time, which really inspires me that there is a commitment visible in the mentee to understand. Learn and unlearn is a process journey, which is certainly very, very positive and helpful. Now, I thought of first telling, how did I get inspired to become a mentor? See, when I moved from the automobile sector to Aditya Birla Group, in the first initial months, I met one of the directors who was my boss's boss. He's my super boss. He was around 70 years of age. He was a director on the board of the company. In my interaction with him, I found that his delight and passion was that during my tenure working with 4 generations of the Birla Group, 4 generations, he has by the time spent more than 40 years, 45 years with that Birla Group, with different generations. And he said, my mentoring input, my coaching input to different people, I am proud to say that at least 100 plus people have risen to the level of presidents and CEOs of various businesses.
Wow.
That delight, he said, cannot be equated with money. That delight, you have to experience and feel the happiness. With my little input, somebody has become the CEO of a company who in turn grooms many people across the globe, because each CEO has a big team of people and his learnings, his experiences get translated down. So that was a time in 1993, I got inspired and I felt, can I do something in my life where my inputs can help 1 million people across the globe to make a little difference in their life, to think differently, do differently, act differently. That was a time, nearly 30 years back, this inspiration came to me. And I tried this experiment during my corporate journey with my business associates. I could see a big change in them, with their family members, with the villagers around the organizations, with women creating self-help groups, with school dropout girls. I think that gave me a lot of confidence that every human being has somewhere a desire. If I can do something, I can do differently in my life, differently in my profession, differently in my field, it will give me a big happiness. I think that field gives you a different nature of happiness and delight. I really enjoyed this journey and experience. And I feel that during the later part, I'll quote a few examples, which will be certainly more giving inspiration to the people on the nature of variety. You need not be an, see, I am from a mechanical engineering background. I am done my design and industrial engineering in my master's, but I have been associated with businesses of different nature. So I claim that I am an engineer by profession, not a mechanical engineer. So people in the field, when they become businessmen, when they work for corporates, they should think that they are key people to perform multiple roles. When you do an enterprise, when you do a startup, when you work in a company, you play multiple roles. I hope I would have answered your question.
Yeah, I mean it's just amazing, and that's why I really wanted you to this show to see this passion that you have, since you retired. Because normally, when people retire, what they do, they just enjoy what they've built. But you hear every single day, mentoring people all over the globe. And I didn't realize it was more than 1,000 per year. I could see that it's a lot, but I didn't, I didn't have a number. So that's why I really wanted to understand, what is this passion, where is this passion coming from? And it's really important to understand that. And and you do it for free, because that's also the other side of the story, is that you wake up everybody, you do it, and you keep doing it, but you don't expect anything back. And that's really the highlight in all of this. And my question is, you giving this this service for free, do you always have the commitment? Because I know that when you give things for free, sometimes people don't get committed. They get a bit casual, and they will come that day and not come that other day. So how do you I would say, make sure that people really get to finish what they started, even if they don't pay anything?
I think my experience here has been wonderful. See, I have always a 30 days advance planning. Each person has a schedule available. I have a schedule for me that these are the 9 sessions I have to do today, or 8 sessions, or whatever are the plans. Whether I am in India or I am traveling or I am in US with my children, it's only a time clock which is different. But my first commitment as a corporate citizen is, if I commit something, I need to be a role model, because I expect others to respect the commitment. So I feel that my experience, by and large, as I told you, 90% of the people, youngsters, respect time commitment. And if I disappoint them, it will be very sad. So I need to be a role model, because if I am to be a mentor to be accepted by them, they should get a feel that I have a time commitment, I have a commitment for them, I have a passion to groom them, and in return, they have to give me one thing. In 2 years' time, each person who takes my input has to mentor 3 more people. Each
Fantastic.
person who takes my input, in a 2-year time, he or she has to groom 3 more people in a similar fashion. And I practice your formula that every mentee must have a notebook and a pen to see that they make their notes in their diary and scan through those pages every 2 weeks. It is not that you type it on a computer and then forget it, or you record it somewhere and forget it. Make your own notes, scan through your notes every 15 days, and then it really makes you feel that you are moving forward in the journey. Because you have to measure yourself that, am I moving forward? There may be cases, maybe 5% cases, after 2 or 3 sessions, we may decide that we are not the right fit. So there can be 4-5% cases people part of. Maybe we again restart after 1 year or 2 years time, because maybe that they are not ready at that time. The age profile of the mentees is from 11 years to 50 years. Even children at the age of 11, I mentor them. So they are school grade 5 children, but they get the. So I think the mentoring process, because I also feel that in the process of mentoring, it is not, as I told you, it's not a one-way street. I also learned a lot of things with each mentee.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there can be many, many examples of great learning both ways. And these examples of learning from these mentees help me to share the examples without naming the individuals to a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think the commitment level, the passion level is automatically in the journey. When you
Mm-hmm.
find that your students, your mentees are so passionate,
Mm-hmm.
your passion cannot get low. Your passion
Mm-hmm.
remains high. And
Mm-hmm.
you'll be surprised that the mentees are school students, college students, employees, housewives, promoters of small and medium industry, senior management, freelancers, even authors, women entrepreneurs, startup, artisans, and rural youth. So there's a big basket and variety of people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
The issue of youngsters came in when I superannuated from the corporate world. See, this inspiration came to me from my younger son. He
Mm-hmm.
asked me, how long you will keep on doing things for the corporate world? We are now well settled, married, working for the best corporates in the world. So why not you think of doing something back to society?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I told them that you give me 1 year time, I'll work out a homework and a plan, involve people, consult them, and draw out a roadmap. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how the journey began. And the first assignment which was there was I was mentoring a lady from UK, and she has started conducting a global webinar.
Mm-hmm.
I mentored her for over a year or so, which was for women entrepreneurs and startups across the globe, live telecasted a weekly webinar in 70 plus countries.
Mm-hmm.
Through that program, I mentored individually more than dozen women entrepreneurs also in different parts of the country. Now, this journey made me feel that the competencies the women entrepreneurs have, women executives have, are having an edge over the men. But
Mm-hmm.
they have not been given an opportunity to bring
Mm-hmm.
out the best. And that inspired me that having worked in the corporate world, because see, a women has non-routine ideas.
Mm-hmm.
If people are working from one organization to other, their 90% of the thought process are set.
Mm-hmm.
Where as a woman, her way of thinking, because she has social responsibility, family responsibility, children responsibility, so her role and other things are very different. She's cool in thinking, she analyzes a lot, she will think of pros and cons of a decision. So I felt that the strengths which a women entrepreneur or a woman has are quite large. And if we can encourage them, if we can
Mm-hmm.
support them,
Mm-hmm.
I think great things can happen. And I'll give you a
Mm-hmm.
small example. See, there is a startup of three girls from an all-women university related
Mm-hmm.
to food sector. Now, the concept in which this startup was created, enterprise was created, was the chef will be all women, they'll be all housewives.
Mm-hmm.
The customers will be all girls who are staying in hostels of the campuses.
Mm-hmm.
So, all women startup, all women chef, and the delivery logistic all managed by women. And
Mm-hmm.
the end consumer is also on the campus hostels, the girls. So
Mm-hmm.
products were designed which will fit into the taste of these girls. Pricing was done accordingly, and
Mm-hmm.
plenty of housewives have got great talent and competence and capabilities in making beautiful products and things which can delight the younger children, because they also
Mm-hmm.
have their children. They
Mm-hmm.
understand and do their best. Now, suddenly, the COVID 19 dropped in.
Mm-hmm.
Uninvited guests. What happened? Universities
Mm-hmm.
are closed. These people staying in the hostels have to go back to their different parts of the country.
Mm-hmm.
the enterprise gets closed.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the purpose with which do we create business? No.
No.
A couple of mentoring sessions could inspire these girls. Can we learn to manage business remotely?
Mm-hmm.
They are from three different cities, each maybe a few hundred kilometers away from each other. Uh, so first thing comes is learning the ability to remotely manage the business. Second is, how do you manage the chefs, packaging and logistics which are there in a different city? Then there comes is key, there are no women consumers because the hostels are closed.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we modify the product? So we made that the product should be for the customers will be the families who are staying in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So families will also have women, will have girls, but we change the model because of the COVID situation, that can it be a family as a customer?
Mm-hmm.
The question came is, how do we manage logistics? Because once serving in the campus, the logistics are easy to manage, but the entire city. So COVID-19 puts a challenge of trust. Is the
Mm-hmm.
food hygienic? Is it well taken care of? Is there risk in
Mm-hmm.
eating? So we said we should and must look for established logistic agencies in the food sector who have been
Mm-hmm.
doing this job, who are trusted as a brand identity.
Mm-hmm.
How to do money management remotely. So the entire business model, and then the product basket also had to undergo a change, because
Mm-hmm.
in a family it is not just the children, you have the
Mm-hmm.
parents, grandparents. So the menu card also had to be amended, remotely working, and it just in a matter of 8 to 10 weeks, the business model changed, and they have come into a different thing. The
Mm-hmm.
and doing it extremely well. So I think
Mm-hmm.
girls are ready to learn fast, experiment fast, risk taking ability, and conscious to see that our brand identity is maintained. It has been a wonderful
Mm-hmm.
experience for me working with these, mentoring these girls for last nearly
Mm-hmm.
about 17, 18 months with them. It's a wonderful experience. We may share a
Mm-hmm.
few more examples a little later. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I mean, it's you've said a lot, but let's see. We have quite a lot of comments, a lot of people here. There's Chika. Chika. She's watching from Nigeria, so she's really enjoying the conversation. She's mentioned the 4T that you mentioned. So the trust, the transparency, teachability, and then the time. And she's amazed, I mean, as I am, because I knew that you were doing a lot of session, but I didn't realize that it was more than 200,000 no, yeah, 2,500 session every year, which is a lot. And we also have Shadran from India, I think, and really enjoying the conversation as well. We have Fazia. Fazia is, a very powerful and inspiring session with a great mentor and humanitarian. So I'm now more inspired to mentor the youth in the community. So, and I'm fully in agreement with the 4Ts. So thank you, Fazia, for your comment. And we also have Tina from South Africa, and she's approving. She's saying there's greatness in women, so we should capitalize on that, and that's really great. So we're just going to take a small break, and we'll come back and continue the conversation, but more looking at the impact of mentorship in entrepreneurship at a different level. So don't go anywhere. We're just taking a few minutes break, just the time for you to digest all the input that DRD has, have given you, and then we'll be back later on. Don't go anywhere. So we are back. We are back with DRD, focusing our discussion on mentorship, and I think you've seen the passion of DRD in all the work that is doing, giving back to community and empowering people, and especially the young generation and women, by sharing his knowledge and his experience so that they can become decision makers themselves and be able to make a difference as well as is doing right now. So we obviously in a very challenging time right now with, like you said, the uninvited COVID is here. And so what does it mean for for entrepreneurship? What does it look like pre-COVID, and what do you think it's going to look like post-COVID? Because there's quite a lot of disruption happening right now as a result of COVID.
I think this is again a very great question. First, I would like to thank to people who have given their comments. It gives me an indication that people are able to digest the talk which we are making, able to pick up some points, which speaks of a high passion of the participants to pick up things which are relevant to each one of them. So many thanks to everyone for sharing their comments. Now, this COVID, as I said, is an uninvited thing. This has happened. Now, let us understand what challenge it has posed. COVID has affected nearly 100% of the world's population. People know that they are suffering. There is no vaccine. There is no medicine. There is no preparation for hospital infrastructure facilities, PPEs. That doesn't mean that when something uncertain happens, we surrender to the situation. We need to create that courage. We need to create that self-confidence, and we should conquer the situation. And if you see the progress in the last 150 days, I think things have changed a lot. Now, COVID situation is impacting students from the university and schools because they are closed. Uncertainty, what will happen to their career and future. People who are in jobs, are we losing the job? Is a salary cut? What is going to happen to the business? Will it continue or not? So hundreds of questions and other things are there which are worrying them. Now, it was sometime in February this year when COVID was in the initial stages in different parts of the world. I felt that it is going to be a dangerous thing for the people of the world. What little contribution can I do in this time to make a difference to the younger generation? So I decided that in the next 153 days, from 1st March to 31st July, I will give 1 hour of my input to 1,000 youngsters across the globe. The focus in this 1 hour of discussion would be that how to make people discover their positive strengths, how to make them feel that to conquer these challenges, nobody else will help you. You yourself have to rise to the occasion, build that confidence and trust that I will conquer this situation. Prepare yourself to reskill yourself, understand things differently, make the atmosphere in the house more positive, because if the family becomes positive, if negativity is lost, given up, I think it's the first step towards that. And maybe today is the last day of the period of the 153 days. I would have come close to about 973 or 74. Tried my best to achieve that figure. But talking to these youngsters from many countries, I found that the situation by and large is similar, not much difference. But the way people show their confidence level to bounce back varies from person to person, country to country. I'll say that maybe in 70% of the cases, I found that in that 1 hour session, the nature of body language expression, the nature of questions which are being discussed, the nature of examples being talked about, makes me feel that it adds value to them. And once you are able to make a beginning of positivity, rather than spending our time in forwarding the negative messages on the WhatsApp, we spend our time on constructive things which can rebuild my future, my career. I'll give you a couple of examples. There was a girl who was doing IT job work for some international clients in ASEAN region uh, for maybe about 1.5 year. I was not mentoring her at that time, but suddenly in December she observed that those countries have stopped releasing money to her. They have started canceling the orders because of the fear of uncertainty coming. And she was really worried. What will happen? My money, I have got a team of 7 people working with me. How will I pay my salaries and wages? When she interacted with me, I said, this is not an uncommon situation. The such situations will be common not only with international clients but with domestic clients also. Because today everyone is looking towards his or her survival. And people want to spend money on essential things. So I said, Ki, you are an IT person. Now, my challenge today is negativity in the families, negativity across the younger generation. Now, can you do something to bring the positivity? That means people want to celebrate birthdays, have some small games, small entertainment parties. Can you develop some online packages of 15 minutes to 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and offer to the people on a subscription model, maybe a small package $2, some package $3, $4. Don't keep money expensive, but can you develop such programs whether people can laugh, people can feel delighted, people can feel happy? And imagine that this team of 7 people in 2 weeks' time could develop so many packages, right from 15 minutes to 45 minutes or maybe 60 minutes. They also had an option of tailor-made program based on the required for a special price. In the first 7 days, they had 100 subscription from 9 different countries. Though the amount was not large, but trying to bring happiness in the people. And in the 2 months' time, I think they have got more than 1,700 subscriptions, and they are making money. They are able to pay salaries and wages. So the business model has changed, thought process changed, because you need to see what is needed today, on what things people are ready to spend money. If you say, I am going to be working for the healthcare sector, the opportunities are good. But if you say, I am for the tourism and travel sector, it may not work in the same form, and maybe it may take 15 months to 24 months for a transformation to come back to life. So it's very important that the COVID situation has to have tailor-made solution, and for every business, at least I can give you hundreds of examples of these last 100 or 150 days where youngsters have come with programs online to see that a lot of things can be done, whether they are doing online hobby teaching. somebody wants to learn an instrument playing, somebody wants to learn a language, different people, and you are able to pool up resources, and there are a lot of volunteers who want to support, and people are not looking for money, but they are trying to do things, and these people are able to offer programs at a very, very small price, varying between $1 to $5 only. But you are adding value to the people to think differently, learn differently, and see if that learning can be converted into a business passion. It's a real good thing. So reskilling will be very important. Uh, we'll have to keep some of our learnings on hold, see what is required, which are the sectors which are going to be positive in the next 3 to 6 months, which are the sectors which are going to take longer time. I think a little bit of these understanding, little bit of these reviews can make you feel that you can conquer the situation. To all our participants, as I have shared with you, that I can give them 1 hour time if they desire to address this post-COVID situation, to bring back that challenge, that opportunity in life to conquer and come back in a big way. We should always remember that the Spanish flu, which was 100 years back, was a similar situation, but conditions were not similar. Today we have internet, today we have computers, today we have television, today we have uh, healthcare infrastructure, transports, aircrafts. A lot of things are existing today. We are in the space age, rocket space age, satellite age. That was a time before the immediately after the World War One. Nothing was there, and the Spanish flu spread to all countries in the world. 1/3 of the world population was affected. No country in the world was unaffected. A country like India, 40% of the population was infected. And the casualties were more than 50 million people in India died. The global casualties were there. No vaccine, no medicine, similar situations. But in those situations, if people were to conquer, if they would have not been successful, we would have not existed today. So if people in that age could become positive and conquer those situations, it happened in 4 phases. So today we are much better off. Today, lot of uh, inputs are available to people, so we can bounce back much faster and a much bigger way. So I think COVID should not depress us. COVID should not disappoint us. These things keep happening, but it is in our hands. If we are self-disciplined, if we maintain our culture, our practices and rules, I think great things can happen. And everyone in every business can find a new way of doing things, a total new way of doing this. Even a tourism sector, it will not be an international travel, but it will be a local tourism, local cultural tourism, local village tourism, local food festival tourism. It can be of a different nature. So people can feel confident that COVID or not COVID, it's important that how to put you onto the right track. And for that, a mentor plays a role. A mentor whom you have trust, a mentor who you feel can give you time, a mentor who can be a good listener to you, a mentor who can make you capable to conquer, not give you temporary solutions. So, and you will come across a lot of such people who would like to do something back to society, because tons of treasure is there, tons of experience is there, and this tons of knowledge can be transformed in a shorter time. But mentoring is not an event. People need to spend time. Maybe number of sessions will have to be there, and each session will take you one step forward.
So very powerful, thing that you've shared. And at the end of the day, and what I get from what you shared is that, the world is, the world is not static. So change is actually what it's the norm. So we really have to understand that even if there's change, even if there's disruption, we are still in control, and we are still the one who can actually find a solution and create something. And it has to come with innovation, looking at things differently, changing our business models if we are, entrepreneurs, and being positive in the process, and understand that, we have to conquer the situation, and we shouldn't be conquered by the events. And that's really beautiful, and powerful. And I hope the audience has, got the message, and understand that, at the end, we are in control. And, they are mentors just like yourself, who are there with their experience, and their knowledge. They can guide them, but they can do it. They can definitely do it. And when they've had this mindset of, this being decision makers, and not waiting for a solution to be given to them, because that's the most important part. Because if you're waiting for something to be given to you, then obviously you become negative and stressed, because it's not going to come. So you have to take action, and then decide, see different options, and decide. And the mentorship is helping in this context. So, we're getting to the end of the program, and really thank you for all your input. And obviously there's so much, you are basically a library. So there's so much to have all of, your knowledge in 1 hour. But, I encourage the audience to connect with you, and to really take things to the next level. And, and please make sure you take this offer that DRD is offering, which is a 1 hour complimentary mentorship. Especially now, I think you need the mentorship to see a little bit more clearly, with all the volatility and uncertainty happening right now in the world. And you can connect with him via his WhatsApp, so that you can work out what's the best time for you, and how you're gonna, you're gonna bring things forward. And that's and that's the thing. So there's also, I think you sent me how, your different area, how people can connect as well. So this is as well for, because I see that Tina wanted to know how to connect with you. So there's the email here that you can see, and there's also all the LinkedIn and Facebook that you can have, and Instagram, so you can connect directly with DRD, and and bring these conversations forward, and get to know, if you don't know his work, get to know the fantastic work that he's doing, and see how you can, how you can get help, because he's giving it for free. And that's just amazing to have, such experience and knowledge for free, and not having to spend any penny for that. So please, I encourage you to get in contact with him. But before we leave, DRD, I just wanted to ask you if you can, leave us with a particular message, if you have a particular message for the audience, before we close out today.
See, my message to everyone is, people are not born great. Each individual born anywhere in any part of the country or any part of the world has tons of potential. A mentor's input can make you a Nobel laureate, a Fortune 500 CEO, a big world famous actor, or a big writer. So be open to find the right mentor, trust the mentor, and see that you move forward in your journey to achieve the purpose of your life. Initial stages, my recommendation is don't have too many mentors, because each mentor has his or her own style and you will get confused. So you select one mentor whom you have trust and faith as a role model. You have respect for that person. Do one or two preliminary sessions to understand, and if you are convinced, move forward on the journey. All the best. Great luck.
Fantastic, great show. I think everybody is happy here. I see that, Tina, she said thank you for the wonderful show, and I also have Chicas. She's like, everyone has potential and she likes it. And we have Fazia again saying that she's from South Africa. Sorry, she's enjoyed the show as well. And Chica saying thank you for the complimentary mentorship. I will connect when the show is over. So yes, so please connect. There's a lot of value that you're gonna get. Like I said, I can't actually, I don't have words to say what the impact that you're gonna have connecting with DRD. And so I thank everybody for tuning in, and I particularly thank you, DRD, for making the time and for sharing your knowledge and your experience. And I know that there's more, there's definitely more than that the audience can learn if they connect with you separately and really get to get this conversation forward and get to get the mentorship that you're offering for them. So really, really good. And so for you is have a great weekend, have a great evening, and for the rest in Europe, it's enjoy the rest of your day. And in the US, they're starting just now, so enjoy the rest of your day as well. And see you on Monday. So Monday, I'm gonna have a guest from Canada, and it's also going to be an interesting session because his name is Day Manuel. He's worked in corporate, went very high in corporate, but now he's giving back as well as a coach and really spending time helping people to be happy, more than just focusing on their career, being happy in every single area of their life. So it's going to be another great show again. So for today, thank you everybody, and I'll see you hopefully on Monday. And thank you so much, DRD again. I can't actually thank you. I don't know what to say, but really thank you. And take care. So bye everybody, and see you on Monday.